Ralph and
AVS
Piggy
Media
lay in the
Demo.
sand, gazing at the fire and idly flicking pebbles into its smokeless heart. That branch is gone. Where's Sam and Eric? We ought to get some more wood. We're out of green branches. Ralph sighed and stood up. There were no shadows
AVS
under the
Media
palms on the
Demo.
platform, only this strange light that seemed to come from everywhere at once. High up among the bulging clouds, thunder went off like a gun. We're going to get buckets of rain. What about the fire? Ralph trotted into the
AVS
forest
Media
and
Demo.
returned with a wide spray of green which he dumped on the fire. The branch crackled, the leaves curled, and the yellow smoke expanded. Piggy made an aimless little pattern in the sand with his fingers. Trouble is, we haven't got enough people for a
AVS
fire.
Media
You've got to
Demo.
treat Sam and Eric as one turn. They do everything together. Of course. Well, that isn't fair, don't you see? They ought to do 2 turns. Ralph considered this and understood. He was vexed to find how little he thought like a grown-up.
AVS
and sighed
Media
again.
Demo.
The island was getting worse and worse. And Piggy looked at the fire. You'll want another green branch soon. Ralph rolled over. Piggy, what are we going to do? Just have to get on without them.
AVS Media Demo.
The fire. He frowned at the black and white mess in which lay the unburnt ends of branches. He tried to formulate. I'm scared. He saw Piggy look up and blundered on. Not of the beast. I mean, I'm
AVS
scared of that
Media
too,
Demo.
but nobody else understands about the fire. If someone threw you a rope when you were drowning, if a doctor said, take this because if you don't take it you'll die, you would, wouldn't you? I mean, of course I would.
AVS
Can't they
Media
see?
Demo.
Can't they understand? Without the smoke signal we'll die here. Look at that. A wave of heated air trembled above the ashes, but without a trace of smoke. We can't keep one fire going, and they don't care. And what's
AVS
more,
Media
he
Demo.
looked intensely into Piggy's streaming face. What's more, I don't sometimes. Supposing I got like the others, not caring, what'd become of us? Piggy took off his glasses, deeply troubled. I don't know, Ralph. We've just
AVS
gotta go
Media
on, that's
Demo.
all. That's what grown-ups would do. Ralph, having begun the business of unburdening himself, continued. Piggy, what's wrong? Piggy looked at him in astonishment. Do you mean the...
AVS
No, not
Media Demo.
I mean, what makes things break up like they do? Piggy rubbed his glasses slowly and thought. When he understood how far Ralph had gone towards accepting him, he flushed pinkly with pride. I don't know, Ralph. I expect it's
AVS
him.
Media Demo.
Jack? Jack. A taboo was evolving round that word, too. Ralph nodded solemnly. Yes, he said, I suppose it must be. The forest near them burst into uproar. Demoniac figures
AVS
with
Media
faces of
Demo.
white and red and green rushed out howling so that the little ones fled, screaming. Out of the corner of his eye, Ralph saw Piggy running. 2 figures rushed at the fire, and he prepared to defend himself, but they grabbed half-burnt branches and raced away along the beach.
AVS Media
The 3
Demo.
others stood still, watching Ralph, and he saw that the tallest of them, stark naked, save for paint and a belt, was Jack. Ralph had his breath back and spoke. Well? Jack ignored him, lifted his spear,
AVS
and began
Media
to shout.
Demo.
Listen, all of you. Me and my hunters, we are living along the beach by a flat rock. We hunt and feast and have fun. If you want to join my tribe, come and see us. Perhaps I'll let you join, perhaps not. He paused and looked
AVS
round.
Media
He was
Demo.
safe from shame or self-consciousness behind the mask of his paint and could look at each of them in turn. Ralph was kneeling by the remains of the fire like a sprinter at his mark, and his face was half hidden by hair and smut. Sam and Eric peered
AVS
together round a
Media
palm
Demo.
tree at the edge of the forest. A little one howled, creased and crimson by the bathing pool, and Piggy stood on the platform, the white conch gripped in his hands. Tonight we're having a feast. We've killed a pig and we've got meat. You can come and eat with us
AVS
if you
Media
like.
Demo.
Up in the cloud canyons, The thunder boomed again. Jack and the two anonymous savages with him swayed, looked up, and then recovered. The little one went on howling. Jack was waiting for something. He whispered urgently to the
AVS
others.
Media
Go
Demo.
on. No. The two savages murmured. Jack spoke sharply. Go on. The two savages looked at each other, raised their spears together, and spoke in time. The chief has spoken. Then the three of them turned and
AVS
trotted
Media
away.
Demo.
Presently Ralph rose to his feet, looking at the place where the savages had vanished. Sam and Eric came, talking in an awed whisper. I thought it was, and I was, scared. Piggy stood above them on the
AVS
platform,
Media
still
Demo.
holding the conch. That was Jack and Morris and Robert, said Ralph. Aren't they having fun? I thought I was going to have asthma. Sucks to your asthma. When I saw Jack, I was sure he'd go for the conch. Can't think why. The group of boys looked at the
AVS
white
Media
shell with
Demo.
affectionate respect. Piggy placed it in Ralph's hands, and the little ones, seeing the familiar symbol, started to come back. Not here. He turned towards the platform, feeling the need for ritual. First went Ralph,
AVS
the
Media
white
Demo.
conch cradled, then Piggy, very grave, then the twins, then the little ones and the others. Sit down, all of you. They raided us for fire. They're having fun, but they... Ralph was puzzled with the shutter that
AVS
flickered in his
Media
brain.
Demo.
There was something he wanted to say, then the shutter had come down, but they were regarding him gravely, not yet troubled by any doubts about his sufficiency. Ralph pushed the idiot hair out of his eyes and looked at Piggy. But they... Oh, the fire, of
AVS
course, the
Media
fire.
Demo.
He started to laugh, then stopped and became fluent instead. The fire's the most important thing. Without the fire we can't be rescued. I'd like to put on war paint and be a savage, but we must keep the fire burning. The fire's the most
AVS
important thing
Media
on the
Demo.
island because... He paused again, and the silence became full of doubt and wonder. Piggy whispered urgently, Rescue! Oh yes, without the fire we can't be rescued, so we must stay by the fire
AVS
and
Media
make
Demo.
smoke. When he stopped, no one said anything. After the many brilliant speeches that had been made on this very spot, Ralph's remarks seemed lame even to the little ones. At last Bill held out his hands for the conch. Now we can't
AVS
have the
Media
fire up
Demo.
there, because we can't have the fire up there. We need more people to keep it going. Let's go to this feast and tell them the fire's hard on the rest of us. And then hunting and all that. Being savages, I mean. It must be jolly good fun. Sam and Eric
AVS
took the
Media
conch.
Demo.
That must be fun, like Bill says. And as he's invited us to a feast, meat, crackling, I could do with some meat. Ralph held up his hand. Why shouldn't we get our own meat? The twins looked at
AVS
each other.
Media
Bill
Demo.
answered. We don't want to go in the jungle. Ralph grimaced. He, goes. He's a hunter. They're all hunters. That's different. No one spoke for a moment, and Piggy muttered to the sand.
AVS Media Demo.
Meat.